Hello, I'm Robbie Fowler and you're watching Redmen TV.
Hello, welcome to the Redmen TV on an evening that saw Liverpool capitulate 3-1 against Steve Bruce's big fat head at the KC Stadium. Normally what we do is we start off with what is bad, but let's start off with what was good instead. Let's get you hooked with some nice tidbits that are going to put a smile on your face. Roast pork, roast potatoes, smothered in gravy and homemade rice pudding and jam as well to follow for dessert. I mean, aside from me dinner, what was good? None. Absolutely not. Oh, don't even want to be here. I'm sure most of you watching don't want to be here. Come on, let's see what we can get out of this. No, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good performance at all, was it? And to try and find some positives out of it, Steven Gerrard scored the boss free kick. Anything else you thought was good? Let me know in the comment section underneath it. Look, anyone who watches the show regularly know I am as glass half full of mentality the Liverpool fan as there's ever been, potentially. But I'm struggling with that. I was in a foul mood, and if it hadn't been for the excellent aforementioned roast dinner, I'd just be here smashing my head off a wall. No, what was bad? Loads, everything. The way we lined up, I don't disagree with the way we lined up. But, you know, we've got no Sturridge, Ashba's not fit, we've only got one centre forward, you have to play one up front, what else are you going to do? Coutinho's apparently not trained all week and he's had a painkiller injection just to be involved. And so you've got to keep him wrapped up in cotton wool. If Daniel Sturridge is out for 6 to 8 weeks, then you need Philip Coutinho to be as fit as possible, and you're not going to... You shouldn't have to risk him against Hull away from home, and this is the big problem I think that everyone's got with this game is this notion of games that we should be winning and games that we shouldn't be winning. There's no such thing as a game that we shouldn't be winning in the eyes of most people, but for me, you know, fourth, I don't have a problem with the way we lined up. In theory, you know, two wingers. This is what we want. This is what was supposed to be Brendan Rodgers, bread and butter. This is the formation he always wanted us to play. Now the thing is, we've played our best football not in that formation pretty much since January onwards. I don't know what we could have done differently. I'm fascinated to know actually what would you have done differently? Would you have changed formation? Would you have gone back to 3 at the back? We were speaking last week about how we should have started Kolo Touré against Lukaku because he's so much more experienced in dealing with the big fellas. So Touré makes sense to come in. A lot of people are saying, well, what about Skrtel? Look, we know, we've seen time and time again, Skrtel can't play the left side of centre back particularly well. It's definitely not a strong point. I don't think he had that bad a game, apart from the fact that he I mean, you know, by all accounts, scores 2 own goals. One, isn't it, really? But I mean, even the commentators were creaming over him during the match. He was fine, he was pretty dominant in the air, he strode out a couple of times, looked all right. At the back four, it didn't bother me. I think a lot of the criticisms come from the fact that everyone bums Daniel Agger, and rightly so, he's boss. But in the day, the manager's got all these tools at his disposal. Maybe he just doesn't feel Daniel Agger's the man to be coping with a player like him. Whatever the hell it was, Sagbo was it, their centre forward, and he's a big lad, he was a handful, wasn't he? And you'd think Touré and Skrtel should have been able to handle, but he did give them problems. And would Daniel Agger have been able to handle any better? I don't think he would. What's Daniel Agger got in his locker that says he's going to be able to handle that kind of player? We've seen no evidence ever that he's able to cope better than the likes of Kolo Touré. Now Saka, on the other hand, you know, by the same logic, he's a beast, and we wanted to see him play against Lukaku because I thought that would have been a very interesting battle. I think we wanted to see him play here as well. You know, playing Skrtel out of position smells like, to me, like he deserves his place in the team based on his performances and Rodgers and the meritocracy that he runs, and fair fucks to the meritocracy because I actually do believe in it. It feels like Skrtel deserves to be in there, but he should really, I think he maybe should have just been a bit more brutal and gone, you know what, man, thanks very much, he performed very well, but we're getting Saka in here, lad, because we think he's going to be able to do a better job, and we're going to have more balance to the back four by having a left footer in there as opposed to having right footers all the way across. So a bit disappointing from that perspective. I mean, if that's one of the things that disappointed you, let me know in the comment section who would have been your centre back pairing, or were you happy? Were you happy with Skrtel and Touré? And look, on another day, their first goal is a deflected goal, and they score and Skrtel just powers one in as well, doesn't he? So there's an argument to be made that maybe we didn't deserve to lose that 3-1. I mean, we're clutching at straws, aren't we? Let's be perfectly clear. It was a fucking shit performance all around. I want to actually have a look at some of your comments because some people have gone mental and always good for a laugh. Eval Hell, it's always all on Twitter because let's just get through it and get home. It says, up there with the Southampton defeat is the worst performance so far. Just didn't start today and got worse. Roll on Norwich. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's important to remember, that might be a shocking performance. But we've been a bit spoiled this season. Yeah, we've not really scaled the heights performance. We've had 1 or 2 really good results, but we've chugged along but we've not been losing games, you know what I mean? And I think because of that, people have a tendency to sort of get a bit worked up about it. And, you know, Southampton is the only other really genuinely poor performance, genuinely, you know, completely as shit as that performance. Whereas you think about last season and the season before that, the season was just littered with them. Dash Joel says, just means we need to win the next 6 games. Come on, you Reds. No, it doesn't. I mean, it'd be lovely. It'd be lovely to win the next 6 games. We don't need, there's this need. It's like, this game's over, therefore we need to get, but look, it'll just happen. Ebb and flow, ups and downs, swings and roundabouts, yada, yada, yada. Sometimes you win games, sometimes you lose games. Look, these things are cliches for a reason, because this is what football's are like. Football's fucking mad as fucking tits. Sometimes, and you do lose games that you're meant to win, and sometimes you win games that you're not meant to lose. That's something maybe we need to work a little bit more on, and time's going to tell it. You know, look, everyone's looking at December and going, well, we're going to lose to Spurs, we're going to lose to City, and we're going to lose to Chelsea. Maybe we won't. Maybe having lost points there, maybe we'll be extra fired up, and maybe we'll actually go and turn one of these teams over, and everyone will go, oh, actually, maybe we're not as shit as I think we are. The fact of the matter is, it's football. Fucking 22 men on a fucking field and 1 footy and a ref and loads of people go mental around them. Shit happens and you can't control it all the time. Well, I'm going to get that off my soapbox. I'm going to start recording this and doing it. I'm going to start doing motivational speeches on my fucking free time. Sean Tillman, Tilly Shaw says, Rodgers really needs to do something about second halves. Losing to Hull in second half is not good enough. Yeah, second halves are a consistent worry. I do agree with that. Dermot Heaney says, you have waves and waves of moans on the Twitter and the YouTube machines. All I'll say, doesn't happen often under Brendan Rodgers. Funding, yeah, you know, for everyone out there, the biffs out there, oh, fucking Saka Rodgers, he fucking doesn't know what he's doing. Look, you know, we get into this game in the second in the table. And you know what? I think after the Chelsea, we might well have dropped down to 5th. But also, we're in the fucking mixer, and you know, if we beat, let's say, you know, I can't say if we beat us, but if we manage to string a few more wins together, we'll be right back up there again. Because teams around us are all going to drop points. Because Premier League is fucking bonkers this season, so don't worry too much about it. Let's see, Charlie at Papidas_MC. I honestly thought we deserved to get a point out of that, but then again, we were quite careless at the back. Well played, Hull. Well played, Hull. There's a great point. Don't see all them being made. Well played, Hull. Nice one, you know what I mean? They played very tight, very defensively, and those are the games that your world-class players need to step up and be counted. And with no Coutinho starting, Luis Suarez was basically on his own because Victor Moses is not special in any way, shape or form. Look, maybe I'm being harsh and maybe he'll come good for us, but I've seen nothing to suggest. And that game when he should have been coming in and looking like the fucking dog's bollocks, looked complacent, looked off the pace. And that's to a certain extent, I mean, he's not playing footy, is he? So how's he supposed to be up with the pace? That's the major downside to us not playing European football this season. It's great that it means we don't have all these Thursday night afternoon games in the far-flung reaches of the middle of fucking nowhere of Europe and all that. But you're not getting to use your squad properly. So these players just sat on the bench doing nothing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, as Moses even played for the under-21s, you know, you're allowed to feel a couple over age when you want to. Like, I don't think he has. And, you know, and Raheem Sterling has barely figured as well. And, the theory is fine. Get 2 pacey wingers on, going to cause loads of problems, have them buzzing all over the place. But Suarez ended up too deep. They did piss all. Although Sterling was probably the better of the two, which isn't saying a great deal. But then again, he's a 19-year-old kid. He needs to get his head back into the game. He needs to play games if he's going to get that. Probably means he's going to have to go on loan. And on the subject of loans, is Moses going to be packed back off to Chelsea in January? Because on this form, I don't really care if he stays or not. You know what? I've been a fucking piss of a Let's not fucking get too down about this. I want to find one more comment and then we'll wrap up, because I need to end on something that's going to make me feel a little bit better. Yeah, none. Anyway, look, thanks very much for watching. Look, the overriding point of this is that ultimately you lose games sometimes. Is it the end of the world? No. Are you upset? Am I upset? Fucking A right, I'm upset. I had to sit through that shit like the rest of you for 90 minutes. If you're upset, it's because you're a fan. Of course you're going to be upset, but the point I'm trying to make is that don't think it's the end of the world. Do not think for a single second. Don't think that because we've lost this game, it therefore means we're going to lose every game in December. Football doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. So ultimately, we're probably going to go. We'll turn over a few games. We'll put a few good, decent performances together, and everyone will be raving again, ranting and raving about how fucking boss we are. And then we'll lose another one. It'll be the sky's falling and all that. Look, just calm the fuck down. Try to, I don't know, find some enjoyment away from football for a few days until we play Norwich. And fingers crossed, we come back and absolutely fucking just smash the Canaries everywhere, so we can all feel better about ourselves. Turn the caps lock key off in our comments, and just be happier people in general. Anyway, look, thanks very much for watching. Bit of a fucking weird format. I'm in a weird mood, as you could probably well understand. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Do tune in this week. We've got all kinds of shit going on because of the midweek stuff. We're going to have the final word on this. We're going to have 3 or 4 of us picking the bones and find out what went wrong, and we'll tell you, and you can join in and blah, blah, blah. That'll be on the redmentv.com. Upsold. There you go. It's good, honest. And there's also going to be a build-up for Norwich, and then there's going to be post-match reaction to Norwich, and then there'll be a Reds News roundup show on a Friday. Yeah, look, loads and loads of content. I'm sure you can't give a flying fuck about Liverpool content right now, but if you do, and you want to be made to feel better, watch the shows on the redmentv.com. Try it out. It's boss. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and good night. Ta-da.